Man, oh man. Didn't expect to ever really physically touch one. That sounds creepy. Thanks to an amazing friend of mine, they have lent me their newly acquired PlayStation 5 that was purchased, I believe, from Target. Luckily, like when one of their releases or restocks. So yeah, we are going to be unboxing this beautiful thing and reviewing it. Once again, we're going to be unboxing and doing pretty much like a quick review of the PlayStation 5 and just kind of give my first thoughts and impressions and whatnot. So again, I know there's plenty of reviews out there on the internet, especially on YouTube. But you know, most people are either capable of getting one before it even releases, such as the big tech YouTubers or people who have bots or just don't mind spending all that extra money in order to acquire one. But luckily, this was purchased at retail without, you know, paying a person who was able to get one from botting. I personally don't agree with that, but I understand what's happening here, of course. But again, very excited to showcase this and just to, again, you know, check it out. You know, I love technology. I work in the technology field. And, you know, this is just definitely a great piece of tech. For more great videos, even outside of this type of content, definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that bell to be notified whenever I post and give this video a huge thumbs up. All right, so I don't have a knife right now, so we're just going to use this dual-wield sword, baby. Yeah. I know, we getting crazy over here. All right, so let's slice and dice this little piece of protective tape or whatever this is, ever so slightly. Put this damn thing away before I cut my damn arm off. Okay, we're going to lift this puppy out. Oh, actually, I guess I should flip it this way. I want to be as gentle as possible with this, since it is not mine. Okay, so we're greeted with the PlayStation logo, as you can see on the front here. Just a little pull tab to release in the back. Flip this around yet again. Then we flip this around. Okay, so we're greeted with the PlayStation 5 and some, what's it, styrofoam, which I fucking hate touching. All right. It is obviously very heavy. It is quite bigger than a PS4. Get rid of all this plastic and stuff. All right, there it is. Just beautiful. Holy shit. Again, this thing is huge, very huge. So here it is, in all of its glory, the PS5. And this thing is freaking huge, Lord. All right, unboxing this box here. We're greeted with the quick start guide, the power cord, I'm assuming, and whatever it is. Oh, the controller. We're going to compare the PS4 to this one as well, like from a size comparison, just to see, again, how much bigger this is compared to it. Under the guides, as well as the safety guide, this should be the stand, as well as an HDMI cord. All right, also greeted with, and it looks like they went to USB Type-C, thankfully for the charging of the controller. So, which, again, this is a very huge upgrade, apparently. You know, again, I only played PS5 once at a friend's house, and I could definitely feel like kind of a bit of a difference, but it wasn't a game that really took a lot of these features that this controller offers and put it to use. But man, this thing looks awesome. It feels pretty good too. Again, these triggers apparently are like very nice. Cool thing about this is, like, if you're walking on certain textures like sand, rocks, ice, you would actually feel it when you're utilizing it with the controller. All right, so let's talk about the design here. So on one side, we get the PlayStation logo there, and pretty much the rest is nothing but the white panel. On the opposite side, there's no type of logo or anything on it, and you see the optical disc tray. On the front, you're greeted with a USB Type-A and Type-C port, and although hard to see, a power and eject button. On the back, we have the power input port, an HDMI port, an Ethernet LAN port, as well as two USB Type-A, believe 3.0 or 3.2 ports. On the bottom, there's this circle here, and this actually will reveal a screw so that you can put the stand and connect it to the PS5. Now, in order to utilize the stand, there, of course, is a screw hole under the PlayStation 5, but the screw is just hidden right in the stand itself. Sneaky bastards. So you're just able to take the screw out, like so. Be able to stick the screw right in, and then you'll be able to attach it to the PlayStation 5. Not gonna lie, I'm having some trouble trying to figure out how to put this on the stand. Finally got it. It literally goes right. Look, don't judge me, damn it. It takes a while sometimes to figure out how to screw some stuff, especially if it's your first time. So you can actually horizontally have this as well. So you won't actually need the screw to do the horizontal. You just need to turn this until it's ready to go, and you actually will be able to just slide the PS5 right in, like so. All right, what's pretty cool is I have a lot of older consoles and etc. behind me. So I actually happen to have a PS1, PS2. I do not have a PS3 because I never had one, and I do have a PS4. So that's why we're going to kind of just randomly do a quick comparison between the sizes and whatnot. Like, this is a no-brainer that the PS5, again, is a very huge console. Not necessarily that it's a problem, you know, but it just definitely have more real estate, or, you know, it's going to take up a lot more space than the other consoles. Got a little bit bulkier, obviously, but still nothing compared to the PS5 in size. All right, now the smaller older brother next to the bigger younger brother. This is crazy how much of a difference this is. Okay, so here are each of the controllers, again, excluding the PlayStation 3. This is the PlayStation 1 controller, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. So they are practically almost the same. Now, no matter what, as you can tell, the PlayStation 5 was the biggest jump from like them making huge changes and whatnot, because the PlayStation 1, 2, and even the 4, and I think even the 3, they share a lot of similarities when it comes to their design. PlayStation 5 kind of went, you know, beyond that and made a lot of different design changes and updated it quite a lot. This is such a huge difference when it comes to the generations. Again, sorry, I do not have a PlayStation 3 to showcase that, but we went from this all the way to this, which again, absolutely insane. And I mean, the size difference is crazy without even questioning it. Now, to focus primarily on last generation versus next generation, PS4's, you know, buttons and like triggers, they all feel, I wouldn't say like lifeless per se. And I know that once I actually turn this on, it's going to make a big difference. When it comes to the quality, like, it's a lot quieter. Instead of the smooth finishing where it's kind of like a matte finish, this feels way more comfortable in the hand. And yeah, even before I even had this powered on, this feels amazing, like, compared to last generations. They're roughly about the same weight, I would say, but the PlayStation 5 controller is, I can tell that it's a little bit heavier, but again, not uncomfortably heavy, of course. So after playing Astro's Playroom, and I'll probably have some stock video gameplays up on the screen just to add a nice little feel on, and just to show you what Astro's Playroom is in case you somehow don't know. So Astro's Playroom is essentially pre-installed on the PS5 to showcase how amazing this controller is. Every little tip tap of Astro's feet, the environment that's going around him, every punch, every jump, any and everything is felt within your hands. And I can't explain how great it is. Like, it is absolutely amazing, like, how this controller is. Like, the adaptive triggers as well. Wow. Like, everything is just so, like, involved, I guess. Like, just, it makes you feel so much more in the game than any other controller I've ever utilized before. And just because of that, I feel like I want one now. Now, don't get me wrong, I've, in a way, always wanted a PlayStation 5. I love, you know, getting brand new technology and just, you know, dealing with the newer consoles and stuff like that. Wasn't a huge rush for me because of the fact that I have a gaming PC. That is what I primarily play games and stream on. It was not really, you know, a necessity for me that, oh, I need to get the PlayStation 5. But after just playing a little bit of Astro's Playroom, I'm going to play it a bit more just to get, you know, just a better feel and just to really get the experience out the way until I have to give this back to my friend. It was amazing. And it's something I've never experienced before. So with that, although being alien and just something, again, I've never experienced until now, oh, that was just amazing. Like, without a doubt, that won me over right there. Again, as I mentioned, not in a huge rush to purchase one because unless it's retail and the timing is right and whatnot, there's no need for me to do it right now. But once I'm able to do so, I'm definitely going to pull the trigger. The new dashboard, or the OS of PlayStation 5, is definitely familiar, but way more welcoming and just easier to navigate. I definitely like the new look and feel of the operating system within the PlayStation 5. So as we all already know, the huge problem with even obtaining PlayStation 5s is just the fact that, I mean, Sony pretty much puts the blame somewhat on the shortage of semiconductors. And they are actually even considering changing the design of the PlayStation 5 just so that they can actually be able to create more consoles and get them out to retailers faster. Now, that's cool and all, and I definitely will say, I mean, that would be a win-win for pretty much everyone, but there is a bit of a downfall with using less semiconductors. There will be a bit of a performance loss with gaming performance, but I think most of the gamers would be willing to sacrifice that, at least in my opinion. So one thing I want to mention, that of course with the delays, until this redesign happens or they're able to get their hands on more semiconductors, so a lot of people have been drawn to building gaming computers, as well as, you know, maybe upgrading their graphics cards or their current builds to pretty much, in a way, combat that itch or that urge to have a better gaming experience. Now, of course, there are PlayStation exclusives that PC gamers will miss out on, and that's always the case. But when you're comparing a PlayStation 5 to, let's say, a $500 gaming PC in today's day and age right now, like with graphics cards being also inflated, hands down, the PS5 is going to win when it comes to performance. Now, again, availability, not so much. I mean, well, compared to the graphics cards, they're kind of about the same. But still, a $500 PC build compared to this, without a doubt, the PS5 is going to win. With a $500 gaming PC, you just won't be able to obtain like the same amount of quality that the PS5 can push out when it comes to ray tracing being enabled, playing at 4K at 30 frames per second. It's just not even close. So as you may or may not know, of course, with the PlayStation 4's design, it was an airplane for most people. Now, there's always memes across the internet about how loud their PS4s are. It will wake the damn house up if you're going to game at night. Now, Sony got it right this time. The cooling design of the PlayStation 5 is just immaculate. It's super quiet, as well as it's able to dissipate heat very quickly. And I haven't heard too many complaints about PlayStation 5's overheating. Even if the fans get a bit loud, to really get the heat out is not going to be anything compared to this predecessor. Well, my honest opinion is this. If you're able to nab one for retail, get it. Without a doubt, this gaming experience with pretty much seamless loading screens, high-speed storage and processing, backwards compatibility for games, the ability to stream from this as well without many issues at all, you can't go wrong. However, if you can wait, if you're going to pay more to retail for it, do not go overboard. That's all I'm going to say. Try to look for, I don't know, at least $100 more than what retail is for. Do not pay these ridiculous prices of $200 to even $800 more for this system. Just wait. Like, wait it out as much as you can, because just like my friend here, you can definitely be lucky enough to nab one. Just got to continue to be patient. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me on this. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this unboxing review, give this video a huge thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in the next video. It has been DJB. Peace out.